Okay, B'ezrat Hashem, we're dedicating the Shiur for the success of Lelia Snyder, Kathleen Graham Walsh, and Justin DeVille. May Hashem going to help them all to always be happy, to keep on being strong in faith, and to be able to connect themselves to the real righteous people always, to do good in this world and to feel good this world and in the world to come. Torah Lamedchet 38, Likutei Moharan. Rabbeinu is talking in part Hey about the Teshuva, about the Busha, when a person tries to come back to Hashem Yitbarach. So when he is standing and he really feels that he's talking to Hashem Yitbarach, so a very big Teshuva, a very big Busha, shame comes down on him, and he starts to feel the embarrassment because of all of his defects and weaknesses and lackings that he's got, and he sees the greatness of Hashem Yitbarach. How can we say that Hashem Yitbarach is so great? How can we say that if we see so many people suffering so much? And if just this morning one cat ate a bird in my backyard, so how can you say that Hashem is so great? How can you say that? So we need to understand, like we said that we saw in Megillat Eicha, in Tisha B'Av, that the Prophet over there is saying, you cannot say that it's Hashem that done all of that. You cannot say that. It can't be. Can't be that Hashem is doing all of those troubles to Israel, to the world. It can't be. But we know that there is nothing except of Hashem, so what's going on here? So there's Hashem and there's His judgments. And the judgments are His decisions. It's not that He doesn't control, and Chas Shalom, like there are two Rashiyot, two different powers that are working at the same time. Chas Shalom. It's all Hashem's decisions, but Hashem doesn't like it, like we said. It's not Hashem's will. It is His decision, but He doesn't want to go with that. It's like a father that punishes his son and send him to the room. And okay, he have to do it. He doesn't want to do it. He have to. He is choosing. He is doing it all, but he doesn't like it. And on that we need to work to define, to understand inside of ourselves that we should not have no angers on Hashem. That we should always judge, even that it sounds very silly to say, we need to judge in a positive way Hashem Yitbarach. We need to understand He doesn't want to do that. He wants us to overpower on Him with our prayers. He wants us to reveal His mercy. How are we going to reveal His mercy? If we will fight with our bad and dark thoughts that we have, Chas Shalom, to judge Hashem Yitbarach and to criticize Him on His acts. But there are acts that we cannot accept, and there are judgments that we're not able to contain. So we have to understand that even though that He done that, probably He didn't have a choice, and He couldn't do it in a different way, and we have to accept it. So we have to accept it and to know that it for sure wasn't His will to do like that. Hashem doesn't have no bad will, never. And only good will He's got. And on that each and every one of us can work only when we're going to do Teshuva, like Rabbeinu is saying to us, to go to the field and to talk to Hashem Yitbarach, because immediately when a person sees something, so his heart reacts very fast. You see something, someone told you something, immediately, or that you're going to be insulted, or you're going to be hurt, or you're going to be offended, or you're going to be angry. It's the eye saw, the ear heard, and the heart is reacting. It's a process that goes very fast. It's not like you have time to think. Oh, when you have time to think, in the field. When you take that situation and you go back to Hashem Yitbarach in the field and you talk to Hashem Yitbarach on that situation and you tell Him, listen, Hashem, it's too hard for me. I cannot grab it, I cannot understand it, I cannot contain it, it's too much for me, it's too hard for me. It's like the Holocaust for me, I'm not able to understand. What are you doing? Why you done that? Help me to understand. Give me the vessels to understand it. Let me understand. What do you want? What do you want from us? Why are you doing that? And then when you talk, by talking, you remove all of the pressure, all of the heat, all of the mistakes, all of the noise that you had inside, and you open a space for Hashem Yitbarach to talk. And then when you're out of words, then you can start hear Hashem. But first of all, nafshi yatsa bedabro, you have to take out your spirit out by talking, by the words of prayer, and to talk to Hashem Yitbarach like you talk to your best friend. Means to talk to Him until the end, until you're going to tell Him everything you have to say. And before you're going to do that, you cannot hear Him. If you're busy, if you're occupied, and someone's trying to tell you something, you cannot hear Him. You have something to say, you cannot listen. You're always busy. You want to tell Him something. You have something important, you can sit for an hour in a class and not to hear a word from that class. Why? Because you thought about something. Something was bothering you. So when you're with Hashem and you come to talk to Hashem, first of all you need to clear your mind. You need to clean yourself. You need to take everything you have out. Spit it out. Talk about it with Hashem Yitbarach. You need to stand in front of Hashem Yitbarach and to talk and to talk and to talk and to talk for hours and hours. Rabbeinu is writing that none of the real righteous people came to the level by nothing else except of thousands of hours of hitbodedut, of prayers. And you have to do it. If you have a better solution, tell us about it. But that's the only solution. The truth is that, bottom line, you can see huge Talmidei Chachamim that learns Torah all day long, and they have a very nice profession, and they're working, and they also have good manners and everything. They have Siyata Dishmaya, Hashem loves them, everything. They have good parents, and they're suffering. They're not happy. Why they're not happy? Because things are bothering them. And until you're going to come to that place that you're able to put it all on the table and to talk to Hashem, we have a nice table. You can talk to Hashem Yitbarach on that table. Put all of your words on the table. Tell Him, listen, Bore Olam, I need your help. I don't know what to do. I need to talk with someone. I try to talk to my wife, it doesn't work. I try to talk to my friends, it doesn't work. It doesn't happen. It's not going on well enough. It's not enough. It's not that. And still I have things. Look, I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of that. I'm stressed about that situation. I don't know what to do. Please help me. And then move on. Don't expect miracles to happen. They will gonna come. But now do your job. Your job now is to reconnect yourself to Hashem Yitbarach. And you do that by those words of tefillah, through the words of tefillah, by talking in a way of Teshuva, that you try to bring back Hashem Yitbarach into your life. That you say to Hashem Yitbarach, listen, in that situation I failed. Someone told me something and I was angry at him. I exploded on him. I was screaming at him. I was answering back in a mean way, in a rude way. I'm sorry. Why it happened to me? Bring back Hashem Yitbarach into that picture, into that scene. Hashem Yitbarach, please listen. I forgot you. I didn't thought about you for a minute. I was so angry. Why I was angry? Because I was afraid. I felt like that person is pushing me. I felt like that person is... And I forgot that it's all you. So please, can you help me? Help me with those situations. First of all, Hashem, that it won't happen again. But if it will, so if I need to go through those, so please, give me the memory, give me the power to hold myself back and to control myself and to remember you and not to fall to fears and to anxieties and to imaginations like everyone hates me, like everyone tried to attack me, and all very colorful rainbow of options, of imaginations. Everyone are imaginating. Nonsense. Things that never cross the mind of a person. When you're married in Shalom Bayit, you can see it. You can learn that lesson very fast. That you're just imaginating, that you're blaming and you're making up stories in your mind that she wasn't there at all. And people that are not talking can live like that forever. Forever. You cannot call it life, but they can survive like that forever. And it's horrible. It's horrible that a person have to live with such sorrow when he's got that simple opportunity just to push that button and to clean it all. When you go to the field, that's the solution. What makes Am Yisrael sorry? What makes Am Yisrael suffer? Only the burden of the sins. Only when they feel the regret and they cannot live with themselves on their mistakes, why I was behaving like that, why I wasn't nicer, why I wasn't kinder, why I wasn't generous, why I was... Only that they're blaming themselves on the avonot, that's their sorrow. Nothing else. If a person is righteous and he knows himself that he's doing all good, he will be happy 24 hours a day. He doesn't have no reason to be sad. The only reason that the person is sad is because that he regrets. Now, Bore Olam gave us, the Creator gave us an opportunity to fix it, a solution. That solution, it's Teshuva. It's to regret, but not in blaming and slaughtering yourself in criticism. Just to go and to talk to the Creator about that thing and to share and to ask for help. And when you do that, you remove that burden from your shoulders, from your back, and you're happy. After a good itbodedut, a person, even if he was confessing on the worst things in the world, he will go out from the field happy. The proof for that, it's all of the converts, all of the gerim. That you see that in the moment that they start to talk to Hashem Yitbarach, they want to rush their conversion process. They want to do it more. And why? It was supposed to be different, the opposite, because when you see how far you are and how low you are and you have such a long distance, you need to fall to despair, to sadness, to say, no, look, I don't have... But the feeling of the joy and the happiness that they sense that it's somewhere over here, I can put my hand on it again, I can find that pleasure of being close to Hashem again in my life, it's worth it for them. Even to cross the ocean. Even to walk in the desert for 40 years, to make it to Eretz Yisrael, because they tasted it already, because they felt it. So when you go to the field and you talk about what that you have inside, that's how you can recharge your battery and to move on, to do big things in life. Even a businessman, he cannot work on his business if he doesn't have itbodedut. A lot of business people, they love to travel, they love to drive. They have to have those long drives to think, to clean their minds. They hear some nice calming music and they're going and they have to think. You have to clear your mind. And especially when you do it with Hashem Yitbarach. So it's also going to bring you to the purpose. It won't make you wiser how to cheat people and how to take their money. Just it's going to bring you to deep understandings on your purpose, how you can fix yourself, how you can be a better person, how can you contribute to humankind, to the world, to help every person that's around you. And when you go like that to the field, and this is why Rabbeinu is saying that first of all it's the shame, the busha, but after it disappears. Just you need to go through that test if you're going to be ready to accept that shame, and if you're going to stand in that test, so then Hashem doesn't want you to be ashamed. Hashem doesn't have no pleasure from no suffering of Am Yisrael. When it's written, B'chol tzaratam lo tzar, that Hashem Yitbarach, He feels sorrow on every trouble of Am Yisrael, we're talking about a bigger sorrow than Am Yisrael themselves. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a lot more sensitive, he's got a heart, his heart is 100% pure. So he feels the troubles of Am Yisrael from things that they themselves are not even aware to those troubles. He's afraid what's going to happen now. But Hashem Yitbarach, He sees that guy's distance from the purpose. What's his failure for the world to come, how far he is from achieving his to fix himself and from having complete faith and to be 100% glued to Hashem, to the purpose. So for Hashem Yitbarach there is a big sorrow that we ourselves most of the time are not even aware to that sorrow, and that's how Hashem feels on everything and thing. So Hashem for sure doesn't want us to feel no shame and no sorrow. Just that sorrow is that test. If you're ready to sacrifice yourself a little bit to get closer to me, and in the moment that you say yes, you're going to live in a different world, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is renewing the world every moment, in the present, every moment. So you're just going to receive a new soul in that moment. You will not even going to feel it sometimes. You cannot even feel it, but you're a different person. A lot of people say, my life been changed, I'm a different person. How can you be a different person? It's the same you look the same in the mirror, a little bit less hair. But it's the same person. No, it's not the same person at all. At all. You receive your pleasure and your satisfaction from different things. You want and you have different goals and you want to achieve different things in your life. And you like other things and you hate other things. And you're a total different person. You look the same. But in your inside is something else. Why? Because Hashem is always changing your soul. Always. He's replacing parts of nefesh, of soul, of spirit inside of the person all of the time. If a person made mitzvah, so some sparks of souls that are connected to that mitzvah are coming and replacing other parts of souls that were in that person before, and they're upgrading him every moment and every moment. And every mitzvah that you do is pushing you forward to get closer to more opportunities and to achieve more goals and more things. And especially when a person is doing things for others, and what it calls zikui arabim, helping others to get closer to Hashem, so then also the spiritual bounty of the friends that he helped them is coming through him. And all of their developments are going through him also. So he's expanding in ways that no one can understand. And everyone can achieve that. Because you don't need to be that person that gave that class that someone else is going to be saved by that class. If you just now took some book of Rabbi Nachman and you hand it to a person, and that Mu'arosh, Rabbi Eliezer Shlomo Shik, he found in his house a certain book, Meshivat Nefesh. He held that book, Meshivat Nefesh, and he was reading that book twice a day for a long time. Every day he was reading it again and again. So the person that gave him that book, the person that he's got that merit, even that he wasn't writing Meshivat Nefesh. So all of what that happened after that with that book Meshivat Nefesh, that the Morosh held in his hand, and it woke him up so strongly and changed his life. So that person's got the merit. If you take a book and you hand it to someone, if you just sit for a short conversation and you tell that person, listen, go, work on it, pray on it, Hashem going to help you, you're going to achieve it, don't worry, and you give him some advice, those advice are going with him and changing his life in ways that you cannot imagine. You will never going to understand how much you're going to develop from those few words that you told him. But you're always going to be wired to him. You're always going to be connected to him. All of his success is going to come back to you. Because Hashem, he sees how the Shefa is coming down in the world, and Hashem is happy that people have the merit to give and to connect themselves to Him, and that's the nature of Hashem, only to give. So when you give and you help others, that's the moment that you actually become to be like Hashem. That's what it calls Shivui Tzura, that your shape is become to be one with Hashem. When you receive from Hashem, so you're the total opposite from Hashem. But when you give, that's the moment that you become to be like Hashem. So a person needs to see how to give all of the time. And then you become to be like Hashem, and you can start create. You can start do big things in your life. So like we said, in the beginning when you come and you go to Hashem, you feel disgrace. And that disgrace can dress itself in a lot of ways. You can find yourself that you don't have words to talk, that you feel so hot and confused and you don't know how to do tshuva. That's that shame that we're talking about. You don't need to feel shame from Hashem's greatness. It doesn't matter how it dresses itself. It doesn't matter how you feel it. If when you go to Hashem you feel shame, it's good, it's perfect. That's the shame that we're talking about. And that shame going to bring you to those high levels that we were talking about before. So when a person is crossing that distance and he's able to stand in that test of being ashamed in front of Hashem Yitbarach, so in that moment, והבושה הזאת, that shame, עדיין איננה בפועל, is still in power, is still just an inner feeling that person have inside of him. היינו שהבושה הוא בפנימיות, that he feels that shame inside of him. So he doesn't even know what to do with it. He goes to Hashem and he stands in front of Hashem Yitbarach and he tries to talk and he doesn't know what to do. He just feels so wrong. He just feels so awful with himself. He just feels like he wants to do Teshuva and he doesn't have a clue how to do that. He doesn't know how to reach that holiness and how to learn Torah and what to do with himself and how to fix his ways. And he's standing ignorant in front of Hashem Yitbarach, empty. That's the shame that's going to bring him to new understandings. Because that humility is a must for getting closer to Hashem Yitbarach. Because when a person is arrogant and he still thinks, I'm going to do it, I'm going to succeed, even in holy areas, even that he wants to be the biggest Talmid Chacham and he wants to do big mitzvot and big charity, as long as you don't feel how zero you are, how nothing you are, you cannot contain the light of Hashem. Because Hashem Yitbarach, He is one. He is something, He exists, He is reality. And except of Him, there is nothing else. So if you want Him to be with you, you need to nullify yourself to Him. To throw yourself away. And it's a process. But Hashem is so kind to help us with that process. If you go to the field every day, you cannot stay arrogant no matter what you're going to do. No matter how hard you're going to try to be arrogant, Hashem will not going to let you. Rabbeinu will not going to let you. Rabbeinu going to help you. Rabbeinu going to humiliate you one day after the other to understand another lacking and to see another defect and to see another mistake that you have and some basic mistakes and some big problems and issues that you have with people, with women, with Torah, with Hashem, with your faith, with your rabbi, with yourself, with your lust, with your desires. It's going to take a while. But if you're going to be strong, and you're going to insist to stand in front of Hashem every day, although that shame that you feel every day, Hashem is just going to heal you. So when you feel that shame, you need not to be scared from it. Because that's the way, those are the sufferings, that through those sufferings, Hashem Yitbarach is illuminating your soul. He's removing another husk, and you were very connected to that husk. This is why you feel so much pain when Hashem uprooted it, when Hashem took it, peeled it out from you. So you feel that pain because you liked it, because you were leaning on it, you liked it, you loved it, you had a desire for that, you were protecting yourself with that, you were defending yourself with that. But Hashem Yitbarach is so kind to open you and to reveal a place for Himself to live inside of you. Asu li mishkan v'shachanti betocham. You should make that mishkan. How are you going to do that mishkan? By k'chu imachem dvarim v'shuvu el Hashem. Take things and bring them. Everyone brought what that they had to the mishkan. What they brought? Things. Things are words. You should bring what that you have to the mishkan. And then everyone brings himself. This is why the process of Teshuva, unfortunately, in a lot of places can be very hard, because most of the Baalei Teshuva are losing themselves in the process of Teshuva. They become to be religious and that's it. And they lose themselves, they lose their talents, they lose their abilities. And they just become to be Haredi, they want to go to shul and they want to... And then after 5, 6, 10 years, they feel like they live different life, not their own lives. And they're looking at their wives, who is she? What am I doing with those kids? Who are they? What's my connection? And a lot of people are falling, crashing because of that. Because they didn't have a real inner work on themselves to find those diamonds, those talents, those abilities, the gifts that Hashem gave me. And we're trying here to do something different, that everyone going to be able to reveal himself. And that's the real will of Hashem Yitbarach. Because why Hashem haven't made two things the same? because everything needs to do His act. You can look at a mushroom and tell it you're wrong because you're not an apple. An apple, something is wrong with you, you're not an orange. That's one have his job in the world, and some people needs to eat and enjoy from it. And that one, other people needs to enjoy from it and to see it and to paint it and to look at it and to say, and it serves the purpose. And when we're going to be able, as a role model for the world, to let them be who that they are, and not only in Am Yisrael, also all of the nations going to learn from us on that thing. So then every nation going to take its part in the huge puzzle of the nations of the world. Because also the nations, they have abilities and talents and powers and wisdoms and huge understandings and wisdoms that they received from the Creator. Avraham Avinu, he sent gifts to the nations. So when we're going to be able to do like that, to work on ourselves, that when you go to the field, you're going to try to find who you are. And when you go to learn, you're going to try to learn things that are waking you up to the purpose. And when you're going to talk to your friends, you're going to talk about how really we're going to get closer to Hashem Yitbarach. Us, we, me and you, what should we do? What should I do? Like that amazing Gemara that Rabbeinu is bringing, that those two waves are talking to each other and asking, what do you lack of in your Avodat Hashem? How can I help you? How can I assist you? Can I do something for you? So the other wave tells him, I haven't even started. I don't know where to start. You can help me with everything. Every word of Torah you're going to tell me, you're going to help me. Say whatever, shoot me in the face, whatever. I need to hear everything. I don't know nothing. When you talk like that, when you reveal who that you really are inside, then it's even not a test, and it's not hard to be humble, because you're connected to the truth. You don't need to act. You don't need to show off to say no. I'm this. You're not in a fight. You're not in a competition. You just try to be who that you are. So then it's very easy to admit and to do tshuva. And when you stand in front of Hashem Yitbarach in that shame, it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't insult you. And you can just admit and to say to Hashem Yitbarach with a smile, that's me. I'm sorry, help me, heal me. And then you're a vessel to contain the light of Hashem. And then when you go out from the field like that, you're a lighthouse. Everyone that looks at you sees Hashem, and he wants to hug you and to shake your hand, and immediately you can see it. I'm saying you're gonna see it for the ones that haven't started enough. But us, we can see it every day. Every day people desires to talk to you, and they're coming to you and they ask you questions. Why? What do you have to offer? You know that you don't have nothing. You know when you check yourself, you haven't even started your tshuva. But still you have so much to give. What you have to give? You have to give what that you have. What you do have? You have the will. If you want, this is what that you can wake up in that person's life, the will to want also. Because you cannot give him a path in Avodat Hashem. Listen, 8 hours of Gemara. It can give me life and it can kill the person. It can give me happiness, do 6 hours Hitbodedut. It can give me huge Simcha, and that person can die from despair in the middle of the field after 2 hours. So what am I doing? Teaching him a path in Avodat Hashem. I'm not able. But what can I teach him? Like we learned on Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov, that the God of Avraham taught him a way to serve Hashem. But the God of Yitzchak, it's a different way in Avodat Hashem. And the God of Yaakov, it's a different way. He was working on kindness, he was on judgments, on dinim, on gvura, on power. And that of Yaakov, he was in Tiferet, he was in a different place. How can it be? Because they learned one from each other to serve Hashem from your inner point. To be who that you are. When Yitzchak saw his father, he saw that his father was straight. That his father was really working on himself to find how he can serve Hashem with all of his power. So Yitzchak worked on himself, to find himself, to serve Hashem from his inner point. And not to imitate his father. He wasn't going to be in Midat HaChesed. He went to work in Gvura, because he found his will in Avodat Hashem. And Moshe Rabbeinu, total different way in Avodat Hashem. And that's how you progress. And this is how you develop. And this is how one person is helping the other, and the other help few, and few more and more. And in the end, when Mashiach gonna come, suddenly Mashiach, that came in the last generation, gonna help all of the world. How can it be? He came in the last generation and He's gonna fix it all? Yes. Because you grow and you develop, and all of the generations are preparing the land, the ground for the next to come. And even if you're going to be the last one that's going to be the Makeh Patish, that's going to put the last hit and going to finish it, it doesn't make you better than no one else. Just you were the right man in the right place in the right time. And that's it. Hashem used you. But you were the key. But you had to have a handle also, and you had to have a door, and you had to have a mezuzah, and you had to have an entrance, and a floor, and the walls, and ceiling, and lamps, and pillars, and okay, so you were the key. So was it such a, I don't know what, that you're going to be arrogant? No, that's how Hashem made you. So you can even be the key, and that you will not going to feel no arrogance, no pride, by being that so important person. Because you know that you're zero. Because when you go to the field, you see how far you are from Hashem. And how Hashem Yitbarach just reveals His loving kindness on you and helps you to see who you are and to work on yourself and to spend another hour in the field. When a person is doing tshuva like that, inside, tshuva b'pnimiyut, that he's got a shame inside, ve'en mitgale al panav, and still it's not revealing outside. Still, you cannot see it on his face. Just inside, he feels ashamed. You're going to look at him, he's still the same, but his inside is not the same. That experience changed his life. One time that he was in the field, changed his life. One time he was, I know people that went one time to Rabbeinu, to the Shiur of Rabbeinu in Uman. They came different. Why? They cannot explain. They cannot. It wasn't the barbecue, it wasn't the prayers in the clothes, it wasn't the tikkun. They cannot explain. Just nothing will be the same from that moment and on. It changed their life. Why? Because they felt that humiliation. They felt like Hashem is so great. Like the righteous man is so great. Like Am Yisrael are so amazing. And I have a lot of work. And I need to work on myself a lot. So my life won't be the same. Like that it's written, Kista kelima panai, that the shame is hiding the face. Kizot habusha hi kodem hatshuva, because that shame that the person feels in the beginning, it's before of the tshuva. It's before that he's confessing. He's coming to the field. He wants to talk. He doesn't have words to talk. He's not able to talk to Hashem Yitbarach yet. He feels ashamed. That shame is opening the way for him to confess after. Without that shame, he will never going to be able to talk. If he's arrogant, he can just ask for more. Say, thank you Hashem, I want this, I want that, and he's got plans. But when you come like that, and you feel that shame, so now you can start confess. V'zeh yadua, and it's a known thing that, that's a long part. Rabbeinu is telling about different ways of tshuva. We're going to talk about that B'ezrat Hashem tomorrow. Thank you very much.
We'll talk about it in a couple of days.
Thank you.